Good morning or good evening, everyone. We're going to start in a minute, I guess, but if you don't already have a copy of Mandukya open, Binduji has created a PDF file that's posted above, and if you open it, if you go to, actually, this is created for the second section, so it's all complete. So he'll lead you through the Karikas, and if you don't already have a tea or are settled, please get settled, and we're going to start in a minute. Namaste, Prakash. Namaste, Deep. Hari Om, everyone. Venkaji, Raji.
We can start. We can start it.
Good.
Namaste everyone. Namaste Patrick.
Patrick, can we start?
Yeah. I'm sorry, Jataveda is not here for morning invocation,
No.
so I'll turn it to you.
Okay. Welcome all. We'll continue our...
Yeah, we can start, I think.
Yeah, okay, I'll do that. Welcome all. We'll be doing the 16th session of Mandukya and Karika. We have completed Agama Prakaranam and we are into the second chapter, which is called the Vaithathya Prakaranam, or what is called as, explanation of delusion or mithya. So we completed 7 verses of the second chapter, and we'll be continuing from the 7th again today for whatever we can cover today. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartrabhyo Vamsa Rishibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhyaha Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashi Pratau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Guru Ratmeti Murtibeda Vivakine Vyomavatyaptadehaaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Badram Karne Vishrunuyama Devaha Badram Pasye Makshaviryajatraha Sthirairangai Suštuvagum Sastanuvihi Vyashema Devahitam Yadayuhu Swasti na Indro Vruddhashravaha Swasti nः Pusha Vishwavedaha Swasti nastaksho Arishtanemi Swasti no Brihaspatirdadatu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Prajñāṁ Shupratanai Sthirajaradhikara Vyāpivirvyāpya Lokān Bhuktva Bhogan Savishtan Punaridishano Bhasitan Kamajanyān Pītva Sarvān Visheshan Swapiti Madhurabhun Mayaya Bhojayanno Maya Sankhyam Turiyam Paramamృతమజం Brahma yattannatosmi yo vishvatma vidija vishayan prasya bhogan stavishtan paschanyan swapati vivavan jyotisha svena sukshman sarvanetan punaravishanai swatmani stapayitva Hitva sarvan visheshan vigata gunagana patvasau natturiyaha. Omittetadaksharamidam sarvam tasyopavyakhyanam bhutam bhavat bhavishyatiti sarvam omkara eva. Yacchanyatra kaladidam tadapyonkara eva. Sarvam hyetat brahma ayamatma brahma soyamatma chatushpat. Jagaridastano Bahiprajna Saptanga Ekona Vimshatimukhah Stulabhuk Vaishwanara Pradama Padaha Swapnasthana Antaprajna Saptanga Ekona Vimshatimukhah Pravivikta Bhuk Taijasad Dvitiya Padaha Yatra Supno na Kanjana Kamam Kamayate na Kanjana Swapnam Pashyati Tat Sushuptam Sushuptasthana Eki Bhudaha Prajnana Ghana Evam Anandamayaha Hi Anandavuk Tejaso Esha Sarveshwara Sarveshnya Esha Antaryami Esha Yonihi Sarvasya Prabhavakyayo Hi Bhutanam Antaprakyam Vihiprakyam No Veda Prakyam Na Prakyam Na Prakyam Adrishyam Avyaharim Agrahyam Alakshanam Achintyam Avyavadesham Ekatma Pratyasaram Prapanchopashimam Shantam Shivam Advedam Chaturtam Manyande Sa Atma Sa Vigneyaha Soyamatma Adyaksharam Omkaram Adimatram Matra Pada Patra Pada Padascha Matra Akara Ukara Makara Yiti Jagaridastano Vaishwanara Akara Pradama Matra Apte Adimatvad Apnodi Havai Sarvan Kaman Adischa Bhavati Ya Evam Veda Swapnasthana Taijasa Ugaro Dvidiya Matra Utkarshad Ubhayatvadva Ushkarshadi Havai Jnana Santatim Samanascha Bhavati Na Asya Brahmavid Kule Bhavati Sa Evam Veda Sushuptasthana Prakyo Magaras Tritiya Matra Mider Abhiterva Vinodi Havai Idam Sarvam Abhitischa Bhavati Ya Evam Veda Amatraschadurta Vyavahariha Prapanchopashamaha Shiva Advaita Om Eva Omkaraha Atmaiva Samvishati Atmana Atmanam Ya Evam Veda. There are the 12 mantras. There is the Upanishad with the least number of mantras, 12 numbers. And now we are into the 7th Karika of the Vaithathya Prakaranam. Saprayojanata Tesham Swapne Pradipadyate Tasmad Adyantatvena Mithya Eva Kalute Smrita. Now we are, see this part actually up to the 15th Karika. There are 5 objections which are brought by the Purva Pakshin or the opponent who are not accepting Gaudapada's viewpoints. So these 5 objections are first enumerated. Out of that, in between there are 2 verses which will at 10, 11 and 10 and 11, 9 and 10 I think. We will do it after the objections, all of them are taken up. So this is the first of the objection, is where when Gaudapada says that both the dream and waking have to be considered at par for various reasons. Now, for various reasons are the reasons which he is enumerate based on the objections raised by the Purvapakashi. So what he answers in this one is that Tesham Saprayojanata Swapne Viprivadye, that these objects which are there in the waking, they have a utility value, Saprayojanata. But in the case of Swapna, in the Swapna, is negated. The utility value of objects of waking have no relevance and no utility in the Swapna, in the dream side. Tasmat te adyantavattvena mithya eva khalu. Therefore, all of them, because it is a adyantavattvena, because they have got a beginning and end. The dream has a beginning and end. After that, there is no utility value of the dream. Therefore, it is called mithya, is what is the statement being made by the Karika. So, what does the opponent say? What he says is that what you say as far as the dream, we can understand. Yes, there is no utility value of the objects of the dream, and it is negated and nullified and have no further reference. But how do you say the waking objects have no utility value? Because in the waking we have the objects and there is, utility value, like the food has a utility for quenching our hunger, the water has this thing for thirst. Same way, the objects like pot, table, all of them have got their own utility. So how can you say they are all unreal or mithya? This is what the opponent is asking the first question. The answer is that the Vedantin says that you cannot say that way, because while you agree that the dream objects have no utility, why are you saying that waking things have a utility? We have a situation that a person who had a sumptuous meal in the night before going to sleep, he enters the dream and he feels that he is a beggar and starving of hunger and everything. So where is the utility of the waking thing in the dream? There is no utility of the waking objects in the dream, but in the waking. But if you look at the dream also, the dream, when if a lion is chasing, the person is, the dreamer has a fear, and he gets, mauled, or if he runs away, or if he jumps into water, he feels like he's become wet. So the objects of the dream has their utility value in the dream. Same is the case for the objects of the waking has utility value in the waking. We are not saying that they have no utility value from the point of view of the experience. The experiencer, if he is a waker, the objects of the waking has a utility. But if the experiencer is a dreamer, the dream world is only having utility value for him, not of the waking. But our undue importance given to the waking world of experiences, and then comparing it to the dream, and you feel because you can negate it doesn't mean that we are in a wrong foot, or we are unnecessarily making the waking experiences also unreal. Then he goes to the 8th Karika, says apurvam stani dharmohi yada surga nivasinam tanayam prekshate gatva yadhaiva iha sushikshita. Apurvam means like the not ordinary. Dream is declared as unusual or imaginary or not real. In that, if you are seeing, any objects and place and experiences, sthani dharmahi, they are all nothing but the qualities or the adjectives of the location. Just as in the waking we are saying that there is a world, heaven, and heaven has things in the, which is described in various books and things like that. We are taking it for granted that such a place is available without even knowing that such a place is available or not. But iha sushikshita yada tata, just as now in this waking world, you have a path which is well laid down, and a person following that path, he reaches destination. So you also feel that, the well laid down path by the religious books and things like that is like that path which is given where the person reaches the destination. This also should take that person to the destination. But if you look at the happening, from the waking, a person who is traveling from one location to another is real only for the person who is walking in the real thing. That has no utility for the person who is in the dream. For him, the waking person's travel and reaching the destination, whether it is a location within the waking state, or even the Surgaloka or the heaven, which is mentioned in the waking, has no relevance for the deep sleeper, dreamer. Same way, the dreamer's thing we are easily negating in the waking, saying that the definitions given, the path within the actions done by the dreamer is all unreal. If he is taking bath and getting wet, it is not real because it is dream. This is how we are, and saying that they are all manovikalpang. It means projections of the mind. So what is that? What is happening is we are not analyzing in our own experiences. This is where we get into our own, quagmire of, validation of our experiences. This utility value has no relevance. We have now understood that in each experience, if you are an experiencer, this dreamer, the dream world only is having utility value, and the utility value of the waking world of gross objects have only relevance to the waker. This is the reason why the uniqueness of the creation of reality should be understood from the two separate field of experiences. The uniqueness, that same uniqueness of waking, and that cannot be compared with that of dream. It is also a mental projection only. The uniqueness which we say is also a mental projection. Based on our mental conditions, whether you believe in such a thing or not, the Vidhi Nisheda or the Vedic injections which people are following to follow Putra Kameshti or Surga Kameshti, all those the yajnas and tapa, and all those things are being done based on the mental projections of the individual. He is really not getting his experiences analyzed. So whether the dream is unique or not, the dream depends upon the observer's existence. Only an dreamer has the reality of the dream. So is the case with the waking. Only if your waker is experiencing the objects of the waking, you can say the waking world is real to him. A non-experienced object of the sensory inputs of the waker is nullified by the waker himself. Right. Now, for example, if you look at in the waking state, we have the experience of the sky being blue, the day and night of the earth rotation, and all those things are real experiences, and we have take it as real. Our transaction, our life depends upon that. But if you really analyze it, is the sky blue? The sky which may appear to be blue is limited to the surface of the earth, but the absolute, the total sky which when you go beyond it, you might have seen the photographs of Apollo 11 landing and the sky behind it, or even the pictures of the Hubble telescope, which is showing the space where the different objects are being shown. You will see they are all suspended in a black, colorless space. So the blueness of the sky is a imagination, mental projection. Same way, day and night is an experience we have, no doubt, the waker's experience. But if you really look at it, it is the rotation of the earth which is creating the light and the shadow on the surface of the earth. And we deal it with as a waking and day and night, and transactions are done. So utility value is based on our giving validation for our experience as it is real. Therefore, we give the thing. Now, in the modern situations, if you look at it, the 3D movies which we go that, you need a special glass without which even though the picture is seen, you will not have the 3D effect. What does it show that? Depending upon the condition of the instrument of apprehension or perception, the object has different valid points or different values. Now, as human being, we have limitations of VIBGEO and certain decibels of sound which becomes audible, and certain in a sensation only we can say, sensation, taste only we can bring. All the five sense organs have their upper and lower end. Beyond that, we have no world of experiences. But when we have seen that there are animals who can see in the night, there are animals who see only as per the science itself, they have proved that certain animals see the color, what we see as color of the world of objects is seen as in black and white for those animals, and etc. So even in the waking state, if we look at it, we will find that we are deluded by our sensory organ giving us the picture of the world of experience, and we take it as that is the reality. Now, if that is the reality, how can you say that uniqueness of the waking is the reason why I should take it the waking of world as a real thing? To answer that, again, he further goes to the 9th verse saying, Swapna vrittau api andavaschedasa kalpitam tuasat bahishchedaso grihitam sadrishtam vaithathya medayoho. Now, if you look at that 9th verse, what does it say? Swapna vrittau api. Even in the vritti means thought process or the function of the mind. Swapna vrittau means the function of the mind in the dream. Anda chetasa kalpitam. It is a projection by the mind as awareness is inside. Now, if the inside is felt from the point of view of the waker, but the dreamer per se doesn't feel that he is having the experience inside him. He is part of that whole experience of the dream. In the dream, he may have inner experiences like happiness, sorrow, his own dreams or his own imaginations, the dreamer can have. But his world of objects and the sensations of his experiences as a dreamer, his world is also outside. Bahicchetaso grihidasat. Therefore, even if you now bring that the dreamer sees his reality of world as outside to him, he has an inner experience of as happiness, sorrow, dreamer. In the dream, the identical experience is felt by the dreamer and the waker. Just as the waker has happiness and sorrow and imagination and projection within the mind, the dreamer also has happiness, sorrow, and projections in his own mind. He also experiences the world outside, the rain, the sun, the getting wet or heat or animal chasing him, etc., from the external world of the dreamer. And the external world of the waker also the same. There is rain, there is sun, there is animals chasing. All these type of experiences are felt by us in the waking also. So where do we have this thing? So Vaithatyam drishtam. Therefore, if you can negate the dream as unreal, it is a feeling or an experience of the mind or a projection. Kalpana means projection of the mind. Is it waking not a similar way? But the waker will not be able to say that. It has to be done by a person who has analytical capacity of both, standing apart from them, and then only he can say that. But when you are a waker or when you are a dreamer, the world of experiences are identical. There is no way we can say that they have any, one has more reality and other is less real. Then comes the 10th mantra, which is 10th Karika, which says that Jagrat vrittau apitu antachedasa kalpidam tu asat bahicchedaha grihidam sat yuktam vaithatyam etayo. Same way, just as now I explained both 9 and 10 together. In the Jagrat also, the same thing he is repeating in the 10th mantra. What? The 9th mantra was for the dreamer, the 10th mantra is for the waker. Jagra Vrtau Avitu, even in the waking state also, Andachedasa Kalpidam, by the mind, he is projecting the world as if the world is of experiences is outside him. Chedo Grihitam Sat Etayoham. And actually what is happening, both the dreamer and the waking, the experiences are happening inside their own awareness. As a waker, as a dreamer, in the mind, the awareness is, or the knower of the waker or the knower of the dreamer is the one which is experiencing all those things. The world which is projected by the dreamer as outside, the world projected outside as the waker by the world outside, is identical. Therefore, both are Vaithathya, means mithya or illusion or projection. Now look at let us analyze some examples from the waking to know why this projection of outside is being told by Gaudapada. This example I told in the last class also. Any object which is seen outside, we think they are independent and real and existing. At the same time, if you do a scrutiny of that experience, of where this experience is getting the reality, we will know that such an object never was there. The example of the apple or the orange or anything that without the dharma, which dharma means the adjectives or the attributes, we are experiencing the attributes because our sense organs can only measure the attributes. If I am using my eyes, I can only see color and forms. Nothing more than color and forms are existing for me if I am only depending upon my eyes. The smell, the touch, the taste, the world, the whole world of that aspect is null and void. So, if I am seeing an orange, I can only see the color of the orange and the shape of the orange, nor its taste, nor its quality, nor its potency for anything else. Now, if I bring the other aspect of the taste and taste of the orange, the taste only can be experienced by the tongue, and then there is no color, there is no shape. All I know that this is orange is from my experience of the taste. Like that, all the attributes which are there in a object like apple or orange or any object which is we are experiencing, if you look at it, you will see that it is the agglomeration or the putting together all different 5 sensory inputs attributed or superimposed into one location. We define the existence of a reality of an orange or an apple. The reality of the existence of the orange and all is purely dependent on the qualities with which we define that. This is exactly what is happening in the dreamer's case also. The dreamer has their own sense organ, sensory inputs and sensor thing. He also feels the heat, cold, pressure, plane, etc. All those things are there exactly like the waker and the dreamer. There is no difference between the two, absolutely. So when we look at that, this projection of the orange in the waking state is because our sensory organs all put together and created a image in our mind as an object called apple or orange. And just an example. But where is the apple, the orange, if I take my sensory organs input one by one? Can an object exist without these sensory inputs, without my sensory organs able to see that? The color which is seen on the orange is not seen in the orange until it is projected into the mind to project that I am seeing the orange color. The taste of that orange is also from the same way. This another sense organ. The touch sensation, anything for that matter. Now all these, where do they assemble that? Are they assembling there outside us, or are the sensory organs feeding to our own internal memory or internal mind? So when their assembly takes place in my mind, how can I say the world of that object is staying outside? The question is normally asked is that because it is assembled in one spot outside my mind, therefore I feel the object is outside. This is because we think that our mind is limited within the body. We are not aware where our mind is located or how far is the approach of the mind. Therefore, we delude ourselves thinking that our mind is within the physical body and the location of the object is placed outside, and therefore the outside object has an independent reality. But if you really look at the potency of the mind, or where the mind is operating, or what is the width and breadth of the mind's potency, we can see that the mind, independent of the sense organs, is infinite in nature. It can, even in waking or in dream, in either cases, that it is intangible as far as the reach is concerned, but the mind can travel. Even though I am physically located in a space in the surface of the earth, through my mind, I can reach anywhere in the part of the mind or the cosmos or in the space. So if the mind is reaching different spaces, places and everything, how do we get limited by that the mind is operating within our body, physical body? That is the reason. The reason when the assembly of the sense organs are placed inside, we have the image within our mind, but since we feel that the sensory organs are picking up the senses from a different location, we feel that the world of object is outside and real. This is how the projection of the mind takes place. This is the same projection which is whether it's in the waking or in the dream which is happening. One need to sit down and analyze his experiences and thoroughly and without getting preconditioned with the mind, then only you can really go to a conclusion as to where we are. Why is Gaudapada is mentioning about this thing? Now, the 11th, 12th and 13th is talking about the one who is independent of waking and dream. But there are two more objections which are given in the verses 14 and 15. Let us glimpse through the 14 and 15, and then we will revisit 11, 12 and 13 Karikas, so that we have all objections covered and the answer given in 11, 12 and 13 will become more clear to us, so that the 16th mantra, the concluding mantra of this dialogue, is nailing that all the objections. So if you look at it, the 14th Karika is that Chittakala hi ye andastu dvayakalascha ye bahi kalpita eva te sarve vishesha na anya hetuka. The things which are experienced have a subjective existence as far as the in the waker's mind. How in the world we have got two aspects of Dvaya Kala. That is the subject and the object. There is a subjective existence for the observer, and there is an objective existence of the objects of the world outside. Do they independently exist? This is what I have been explaining now. Can the objects exist independent of the subject? Have we ever analyzed that? You may say, even if I am not there, my house is there, or my family is there, my car is there. Anything you can say, because we bring in two aspects of it. One is Pratyaksha Kala, that time when we are experiencing that immediate perception. When I experience my immediate through my sensory organs, I experience my car, my family, or house, etc. Then there is a memory related, or what we call it as Pratyabhijna Kala. That is the recollected state of the experiences. The recollected state of experiences do not need the physical object at all. The physical object, when it is being experienced, that is one part of the time. When it is being recollected, the physicality of the external object, the objects outside is not mandatory or need not be there at all. And this is the term Dvaya Kala. Dvaya Kalavatvam is the word used by Gaudapada. Binary time dependency. That is the word used by Gaudapada to this thing. One is that immediate experience, and one is the recollective experience. Therefore, they are not happening simultaneously. They are happening two different times. Therefore, it is called binary time dependency for these two things. To know that, let us look at that. How does we feel that, when I went to sleep, my house, my family, my car, everything was there. When I wake up also, after the dream also, when I wake up, they are there. But in the case of a dream, whatever experiences I had in the dream was experienced only during the dream. But after that, it was not there, and nor can I revisit them and experience them again. Therefore, there is ekakalata there, or unit time dependency for the dream, and binary time dependency for the waker. How do you say both of them are same? And how are you saying that both are the similar in projection of the mind only? Okay, it's a very, very tricky question and a very valid question, and everybody's question is on this aspect only. Even if I am not experiencing, somebody is experiencing an object in Africa or America or any other part of the world. Can I say that that object doesn't exist? This question is a very valid question, and it is a most common objection taken to people who object to Gaudapada's stand on this comparison between dream and waking. Now, Gaudapada in his Karika doesn't directly answer this question, because he thought that that statement is enough for the apt student to understand what the entire meaning. We are so blessed that people like Shankaracharya through his Bhashya, and other commentators who have commented upon Shankaracharya Bhashya has dealt in detail about this aspect. So how do they say that? Now they have a very detailed analysis of it. If the dreamer is to say his experiences, he will never say it is unreal. For the dreamer, the dream world is absolutely real. All his experiences are real, and he will vouch for it with his whatever he want to vouch for it. Is it not the same the waker? Is it not that the waker is vouching for his experiences as a waker, and he denies the dreamer? The dreamer also can deny the waking. Unfortunately, the dreamer has no access to the waker. And therefore, neither independently the dream experiencer nor the waking experiencer can be an independent judge to say which is real, which is unreal. So there is a contest between the dreamer and the waker to say who I am real, I am real. Both the way, but from their own point of view, they are real. But Vedanta and the Shruti Upanishad says that both of them are unreal, equally unreal. It is not that one is gradationally real and the other one is subtle and therefore totally unreal. No, both are equally placed from the point of view of the independent judge. Now, who is the independent judge who can take a impartial view? It cannot be the waker, it cannot be the dreamer, nor can it be the prajna or the deep sleeper, because deep sleeper has no activity. It has to be taken by somebody who can stand impartial and out of the control of the waker and the dreamer. Only such a person can take an impartial view and say that this claimed by the waking world to be more real, dream to be less real, whether it is right or wrong. This is the place where we have to bring the 15th Karika. Avyakta eva andastu spuda eva cha evahi. Kalpida eva te sarve visheshaha stvat indriyandare. The things which are experienced are not clear for the one who is experiencing in the case of andaspudu. Andaspuda means in the inside, which are experienced outside like the waker are clear, but all of them are projected there. Where is the distinction? The distinction is because of the instruments of sense organs. The waker's sense organs, he has a validity, this thing which he says that my sense organs are real and therefore the world of object is real. Whereas the dreamer frame, he projects things which are not real to the waker, but for him, the dreamer, he cannot say that they are real or unreal because he sees 4 elephant horses or, where an elephant, flying elephant, or a fish flying in the sky. Things like that, he can see it in the dream. But from the point of view of the dreamer, they are real. And therefore, both waker and dreamer's experience, even though the sense organs are potentially different, what the dreamer is dreaming can never be can never be seen by the waker because he doesn't have a sense organ which can project that type of an experience. So he is limited. He is limited by his experience of the sense organ. That's what I said. We can see only certain range of colors, certain range of sound, certain range of temperature, all those things which have got limitation. Whereas in the case of a dreamer, he has no limitation to that extent. So he can also claim the superiority against a waker mind. Now, this is the place where both of them have to come to the independent judge, which is going to analyze both of them and say that why do they feel different to me, even though appearing to be different, both of them are equally unreal. Let us go back to the 11th verse. Ubayorabi Vaithatyam Vedhanam Stanayor Yadi Kaha eva buddhyate Vedan Kaha vai tesham vikalpaha. If now both these things are unreal, both the states, who is the one who is experiencing these independently, or if they are independently experienced, who is the one who knows both of them, or who is here the word they used is creator. So creator, because Gaudapada being the traditional aspect says that, Yeto va imani bhutani jayanti eta jatani jivanti pravitya visambishanti tadeva brahmatvam viddhi. That mantra from Taittiriya, and tadrishtva tadeva anupravishyat. He is one who created, and he is the one who is enjoying that. So using those things, he is using the word creator. So let us look at it from a more modern approach to that. If the unreality of both the objects are now accepted, that the waker is claiming to his reality, which is contradicted by the dreamer and his reality. Dreamers both are equally unreal from each other's point of view. Is there anything which is gradable, or is there any reality beyond the two? This is the question which is asked in the verse number 11. Ubayorapi Vaithatyam. Even the Vaithatyam means delusion. Ubayorapi, of the two. Vedanam Stanayor Yadi. Because of the place where it is being experienced is difference. So therefore, Kaha Eta Buddhyate, one who is the knowing these Vedan, or the difference between the two, and who is the one projecting it, Vikalpa. It's a projection now. That is because that which is not being present available, it has to be projected by somebody. So who is that? Kalpayati ya atmanam atmana devaha swamayaya sa eva buddhyate vedan iti vedanta nischaya. Now this is where the Vedanta, but because the waker and the dreamer cannot be the independent judges, so we need to go to the independent judge. Now the independent judge should be such a person who has not been under the influence of the waker or the dreamer to take a impartial stand. For that, Gaudapada says the conclusion has to be that of the Shastra, or what the Upanishad is saying, which we have studied, and the 12 mantras which we studied. There they have mentioned about the Jagarita Sthana, Swapna Sthana, Sushupta Sthana. So the Upanishad is dealing with this subject. Therefore, the Upanishad mantra will be having the answer for that. Whoever is projecting this dream world is the same projects the waking world also, is the statement of the Upanishad. Turiya is the word used in the Upanishad. Now Turiya, Brahma, both being identical. Turiya Spandanam is the word which we will come across later, but that is the word which is used here. It is not a pulsation alone. Thus, even though the word Spandanam means pulsation or a vibration, it is a projection. This Atma in the individual body, like the microcosm, and Turiya is the cosmic entity, because in the seventh mantra, Prapanchopashamam, Ekatma Pratyasaram, Prapanchopashamam, Shantam Shivam Advaitam, Sa Atma Sa Vitneyaha. So that is where the Gaudapada is bringing the independent judge to analyze Jagra Swapna Sushupti. So Prapanchopashamam means that is the time when the Prapancha is not there, the waking is not there, the dream is not there, the deep sleep is not there. And when that is the state, there is Shantam Shivam Advaitam Atma, which is pure in nature, non-dual, because there is nobody other than that, and that Atma is the independent judge who can say that, because even when he is pure, independent and everything, he was very much present for the waker, he was present there in the dreamer, he was present in the deep sleeper. So, he knows the waker, he knows the dreamer, he knows the deep sleeper. Yet, he being independent of them, he is not going to side with the waker, dreamer or deep sleeper to say, is there any reality for the waking world? Is there any reality for the dream world? Or is the deep sleep of that is the absolute reality? So, when in the Gita, when Krishna said, Aham, I am Atma, Sarva Bhutashaya Sthita, I am the cause and the creation, Utpanti Sthiti Laya, Karna. All those things, when he says that, he is referring to this mantra in his mind. So, when Atma says that, I am the creator, I am the one who sustains it, I am the one who dissolves it or dissolves into it. The waker has no independent reality, nor the dreamer has an independent reality. Their reality is because of my awareness. I am the awareness for them. And then they project themselves as I am the waker and I am the dreamer. Therefore, I am the one who is independent, and I can say that all the three experiences are equally unreal. How does it say? Vikaraha ati paran bhavan antanishchite vyavasthitan netamscha bhishcha evam kalpayade prabhu. The word here used is Prabhu. Prabhu means Prabhavati iti Prabhu. One who is controller of everything. Prabhu means Lord, Ishvara. All the meanings are valid for it. But in Sanskrit, Prabhavati iti Prabhu. One who controls, who has absolute control of everything. He has the control over the waking world. Not only the waker and his world of experiences, the dreamer and the dream world of experiences, and the deep sleeper. All his is vikaraha. Vikaroti is the word used. Vikaroti means creates. Paran bhavan. All these absolute creations, andaschiste vyavasthitan, staying within the mind or within the locality of the individual, and he is niyatam cha bahishcha evam kalpade, both internally and externally of the mind. Here the internal and external is not a physical internal external. It is as if it is being experienced internal, or as if it is being experienced outside, is what we should understand that. Now, if you look at it, how does he become a Prabhu? The example in Shankara's Bhashya is saying that If a sculptor want to create a statue, he creates the image of the statue in his mind. Then he projects it into a stone or a clay, and he casts the image as per his imaginative skill which was inside his mind. He projected the world out, the statue outside. There is a limitation for that explanation. He also says that here the limitation is because there is a material cost separate and the instrument cost is separate and things like that. Material and causal effect. But the methodology is what is more important to us here. Unless it is there in the imagination of the creator, nothing can be created. Now the creator, did he really create it? He doesn't have to create anything because he is everything. So you are the dreamer, you wanted everything to dream. So you means not the waker. I am talking about the Prabhu. He created subtle experiences, Swapnasthana, Pravivikta book in the third mantra. We heard that, fourth mantra. The same Turiya, when he associates with the dreamer, he gives the power to the dreamer to project his own imaginative world. The same Atma or the same awareness, when he gives the power to the waking mind, the waking mind assumes the role that I am the creator and he creates his own world. His likes and dislikes, his objectification, subjectification, all those creations are done by him. But without the presence of this Prabhu or the absolute Turiya or the absolute reality or the awareness, neither the waker nor the dreamer can function. When he is taking rest, we are in deep sleep. Neither can the mind create the dream world, nor the world can neither create the external world. If I am not sleeping, somebody will say the world outside exists. I might have been sleeping, but the world outside. But who is saying that? Is that statement being made by the deep sleeper, the person who is in deep sleep? No. The waker has projected so many conditions in his life that he has created a dreamer, he has created even a deep sleeper in the waking to be under his control. Actually speaking, it is not under his control, but he thinks supreme that I am the most real thing and the reality is dependent upon me, and the waker creates that the dreamer is insignificant. He only hallucinates an imaginative world he is living in, and the deep sleep has no experiences, so it is taking rest and I am the absolute controller. This assumption of the Prabhu in the waking is the foolishness of the waker. But independent of the waking dream and the deep sleep, the real Prabhu who has the projection capacity to associate with the waking mind or the dream mind or the deep sleep is untouched by that. How do we know that? Prapanchopashamam, ekatma pratyasaram, prapanchopashamam, shandam shivam advaitam, sa atma sa vitneyaha. Nanda Pratya, Nabhe Pratya, No Veda Pratya, the seventh mantra, if you revisit and go through it again, you will know that why does the Upanishad say that it is neither the dream, nor the waking, nor the deep sleeper, nor can it be called without awareness or with full awareness, because all these are nomenclatures from the point of view of the waker. So everything is being negated there, and then to really break down the superiority complex of the waker, he says avyavaharyam. You think you can transact with awareness as you feel whims and fancies. It is avyavaharyam, achintyam, agrahyam, alakshanam, ekatma pratyasaram, prapanchopashamam, shantam shivam advaitam. That is the reality. Savitneha. That is what you should know. This is how the first 7 to 15 mantras and Karikas are going. Then 16th onwards, Karika will deal it in the next Wednesday, where we will know further how Gaudapada is taking us to take us out of the delusion of reality of waking, dream and deep sleep. He will take us much beyond this. That is the time when we will move to the Advaitam, the Prakaranam called Advaitam, which is where non-duality is there. So, Brahma Satyam is the first chapter. Jagan Mithya is being now explained by the Gaudapada. And when Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya is known, we will know that Jivo Brahma Ivanapara. There is no difference between the Jiva and the Brahma. The Prabhu is there everywhere. He is the one which is controlling everything. He is all, and beyond him there is no Advaitam Paramarthata. With that, I'll stop today. We'll meet on next Wednesday. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Hari Om. Thank you all.